Hey, good morning, club members. It's Bobby, and today, before I get started, I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is the purpose of the downswing in the golf swing? What are we trying to do? Well, the purpose of the downswing is undoubtedly to deliver the club face powerfully and squarely to the back of the ball. Well, if that's true, let's take it a step back. And then, therefore, what then must be the purpose of the backswing? Well, the purpose of the backswing must be to put you in a position from which this correct downswing can flow most consistently, most easily. And it is on that point that I'd like to talk to you today. I want to talk about the proper takeaway, which will set you up for a powerful and consistent downswing into the ball. There are 3 points I'd like to hit. Number 1, where should you be at this halfway position? Number 2, how do you get there? If you've been doing it in some way apart from that position, how do you find that position? And number 3, where should you be at the very top? Because as I say, the halfway position is only halfway. We got to figure out a way to get all the way to the top. All right, so number 1. I want to talk about the halfway back position, and the halfway back position is very simply getting the club to when it's parallel to the ground. And it should be somewhere on your toe line, near your toe line. This would be a little behind my toes. This would be a little in front. I want to have it somewhere close to that, within a 3 or 4 inch left and right position. And also, at that halfway back position, not only is it near my toe line, but it's also the club face, that is, parallel to my spine. If I were standing straight up, this would be parallel to my spine, looking at that leading edge. But as I'm leaned over, I'm here. That's the ideal position. Now, number 2. I said I'm going to tell you what it is, and number 2, how do you get there? Well, let me tell you how you don't get there. There are some problems that are most easily addressed if you talk about what they're not before you talk about what they are. This is not a jerk to the inside with the hands. You'll never get there. In fact, if in 9 cases out of 10, when someone's off of this ideal takeaway, they're too far inside. There is a tremendous temptation, it seems, to get this thing in our hands because it's with we're holding on to the golf club with our hands, and so it's very tempting to want to start manipulating it. Well, the average touring professional, or someone who's just a very skilled golfer, doesn't start with it to the inside because the tendency for most people is to reverse that on the way down. If you're going to err on one side or the other, err too far out here because it won't hurt a thing if you reroute it coming in. You just can't reroute it this way. All right, and so we want to make sure that we get it out, get it into the correct position with the use of no hands. So how do we do it? Here's what I want to think. I want to think that this left shoulder and that club head are as one. Neither moves without the other. So when I'm in this position, wherever this club goes, it goes simply because my body turns. And that should be pretty close. All right? If I, in addition to moving my shoulders, also move my hands, you can believe I'm too far inside, and I'm setting myself up for that steep swing, that, you know what it is. It doesn't lead to anything good. And so, let me say that again. The shoulders and club move together. I make no attempt to take this to the inside. You see, the reason that has such a strong appeal is because we've all been told to swing from inside out. And so, our intuition suggests to us then that the more I get it to the inside, the greater the chance I have. But it actually works counter to that. The more you get it to the inside, the more likely you are to come over the top. And so the loop that you want to create, if there is one that goes out, and then and you increase your chances tremendously. The next thing I want to talk about, so 1 was where should you be? 2, how should you get there with just a simple turning of the shoulders, no manipulation of the hands. And number 3, where should you be at the top? Well, ideally, it's a matter of where this club rests on your hands. You don't want to have this club, the weight of this club, fall on your 2 thumbs. That's an open club face. It does fall something close to your left thumbprint. It's a little bit more across it though, not directly into it, across it. And the base of your right index finger. All right, so when we get up to the top, we want to feel like if I took the left hand off, that I would have that club resting in the base of my right index finger. That's a square club face. That's as square as it was here, and it remains square up to the top. And so let me go through that one more time. Number 1, I'm going to make sure that in my halfway back position, the club is parallel to the ground, and the club face is parallel to my spine. Number 2, how do I get there? Well, I get there because I do it with the shoulders, not with the active hands doing their job. And number 3, where do I get? I get to a point where this club is resting on the right index finger, the base of the right index finger, not the right thumb. If it's resting on your right thumb at the top, you're slicing, and you're just going to have to go on slicing until you can improve that position. So here I am. I'm going to try to get it in the right position and hit a nice, solid, consistent shot. And so there we have it, everybody. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.